Xiaomi made its mark in India selling low-cost phones, and the Redmi Note series has always been about aspiration while remaining affordable. Whether you're after a bigger screen, more powerful processor, higher capacity battery, better cameras, or just more RAM and storage, this company knows how to play the game. The Redmi Note series has usually been priced below 20,000 rupees, but the new Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G is priced starting above that level, which pushes it into all-new territory. So do we just have to accept that things have become more expensive, or is this phone aimed at an entirely different audience? We're about to find out. The base variant of the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G has 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage and is priced at 20,999 rupees. You can get 8GB of RAM with the same 128GB of storage for 22,999 rupees, and it will cost 24,999 rupees if you want 8GB of RAM with 256GB of storage. At this level, you also have choices such as the OnePlus Nord CE2, Realme 9 Pro Plus 5G, and iQOO Z5. The Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is rather plain looking with very little design flair. The two-step camera module on the rear is the only thing that stands out design-wise. The front is all black except for the prominent camera ring at the top, which can be distracting. The Mirage Blue finish, which I have for this review, looks like it has diagonal intersecting waves on the rear panel, which catch the light when you move this phone around. The perception of motion makes it seem as though you're looking at water on the surface of a pool. At the top, you'll find a 3.5mm audio socket, a grill for the earpiece speaker, and an infrared emitter. The power button with its integrated fingerprint sensor and volume buttons are on the right, all within reach. The hybrid dual SIM tray, USB Type-C port, and primary speaker are on the bottom, leaving the left side blank. The 202g weight and 8.12mm thickness are both slightly above average. Xiaomi says it has used Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and frosted glass on the rear. The phone is IP53 tested, which provides some reassurance. This phone with its Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 SoC goes up against some powerful competition in its price segment. You get a 6.67-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display with a 120Hz maximum refresh rate. The battery has a 5000 mAh capacity, and this phone supports 67W fast charging when the charger in the box is used. Software is a bit dated. The Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G ships with MIUI 13 running on Android 11, and an update to Android 12 should be released soon. There's lots of customization potential, and much like iOS, swiping down from the right of the camera hole shows quick toggles, while swiping down from the left shows notifications. In the Settings app, you'll find controls for more features such as light mode, second space for privacy, floating windows, and a floating shortcut sidebar. Unfortunately, some of the default apps show ad notifications without even being opened. There's promotional content in some widgets and on the home screen. At this point, we don't expect that any smartphone, even in the budget segment, will struggle to run everyday apps and tasks, and I had no trouble with the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G. The display refresh rate is set to 60Hz by default, but since MIUI has a lot of animations, there was a noticeable improvement in UI responsiveness when I switched to 120Hz. The fingerprint sensor was quick and easy to use. Face recognition was also convenient. The display was readable under sunlight. It's quite crisp and colors are vibrant, though some might find videos a little oversaturated. The stereo speakers are relatively well balanced and sound is quite loud. Benchmark performance was pretty solid. You can see some of the scores right here. Gaming was also pleasant, though the upper rear of the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G did get a bit warm after about 15 minutes. Asphalt 9 Legends and Battlegrounds Mobile India both ran well enough. The Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G did do well in terms of battery life. Using the supplied charger, I was able to go from 0 to 36% in 15 minutes and 66% in 30 minutes. However, the phone does get uncomfortably warm while charging. Xiaomi has managed to one-up its competition in the camera department, at least when it comes to specifications. The Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G features a 108MP primary rear camera. You also get an 8MP ultra-wide camera and a 2MP macro camera. However, video recording only goes up to 1080p, which is a surprise, and there's no optical stabilization. Sadly, you don't get the tele-macro camera of last year's Redmi Note 10 Pro Max. The front camera has a 16MP resolution. Shots taken with the 108MP camera are binned to a sensible resolution by default, but you can override this manually. Photos taken outdoors in the daytime exhibited crisp detail and punchy colors. But 108 megapixel shots can also be magnified and cropped to simulate a zoom. Detail was good in close-ups but dropped a bit if subjects were at a slight distance. The ultra-wide camera didn't capture very vibrant shots and there was noticeable warping of perspective. Daytime macros were disappointing, but portraits came out well enough. At night, the main camera was just about okay. Detail was lacking and shots looked murky and heavily compressed unless there was good lighting nearby. In some cases, I noticed an exaggerated warm tone in night mode shots. There was almost no point trying to use the ultra-wide angle or macro cameras at night. Video is generally smooth, but it's surprising for a phone in this segment to not offer 4K recording or even 1080p 60 fps. Daytime footage seemed to have a slightly warm color tone but was generally sharp and smooth. The ultra-wide angle camera took grainier footage and there was a significant drop in quality. Skin smoothing is enabled by default when you switch to the front camera. Selfies did have an artificial quality and detail wasn't great. What the new Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G has in its favor are its display and speakers, battery life, charging speed, software features, and everyday performance. You can find most of these things in less expensive phones though, and they don't justify its new high price. Even the base variant, which costs 20,999 rupees, will face stiff competition from its own predecessor, the Redmi Note 10 Pro Max. Overall, the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G is fine for what it is, but it isn't a clear-cut segment leader. If Xiaomi had gone all out with the SoC or the cameras, there might have been a more specific niche audience for it. The OnePlus Nord CE2, Realme 9 Pro Plus 5G, and iQOO Z5 are its most notable competitors. Now, these all do start at slightly higher prices, but if you're spending this much anyway, you should consider them. That was our review of the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G. Thanks for watching, and for all things tech, do stay tuned to Gadgets 360.